Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Blessings be on the speaker, the one who has chosen to speak the words of truth and wisdom, whether he would speak the words of truth and wisdom or he won't speak at all. And blessings be on the listener, as herself or himself has cleared the unnecessary fog and drama. Today, this brief message I'm delivering, it is based on the conversation or the video I did yesterday. There is an inquiry and they have asked that how is that we are not the life energy itself, but something more than the life energy. And I always encourage you to ask questions, because when we are open to something and when we ask questions, we hear the answer and see if it makes any sense for us. Remember something, I have mentioned truth is silent. I have mentioned truth is silent. It does not come with the words. Truth is what you are perceiving at any given moment without words. As soon as you try to define it with words, it's your point of view now. It's not the truth as it was happening. Please pay focus and attention what I'm saying. Whatever I'm saying, if it has a little shred of truth and wisdom, it would automatically resonate through you, or it would automatically resonate through your awareness of what you essentially are. Yesterday I said that you are not the life or life energy, but you are something larger than the life energy or beyond the life energy. I'm going to elaborate on that. All I need is your focus and attention intact with what I am saying. During the conversation yesterday, I told you that if you are raising something, then naturally you are something above and beyond than what you are raising. It only makes sense what I'm saying. If you are raising something, then you are above and beyond of what you are raising. So if you are if you are raising your life energy, or if you are raising life, then you are above and beyond the life energy and the life itself. First of all, let's look into life or life energy, or life/life energy. Life, some people call it just life and they are contented, and some people call it life energy. Life itself is energy. Some people specifically mention energy with life, or some people just combine it and call it life. It's the same thing. Imagine, I'm going to elaborate on that, so I hope that you would have your answer. Imagine you entered in a hall or in a large room. I want you to imagine that you entered in a hall, like hall where people give a speech and all that, like in front of audience. Imagine you entered into a hole or into a room which is totally dark. There is not a shred of light or ray of light there. It's absolutely dark, and you entered into that room. And you are standing over there and you cannot see anything. So it's totally dark. All you see is darkness. But it does not mean that you stop existing. Are you following me? I want your focus intact. When you are in a dark room and you are looking around, you see all there is darkness, or what your mind identify as nothingness. Nothingness means the absence of the objects and forms. Nothingness means the absence of the experience. However, it does not mean the absence of the one who is experiencing it. Are you following me? That is the difference. Of course, when you are in a dark room and you are looking around and there is no identifiable object, it means, and you say there is nothing or there is darkness, means there is an absence of the experience. However, it does not mean there is an absence of the one who is experiencing it. It is not possible. Ask me the question why. If you say, if for the argument's sake, if you say that there is the absence of the one who is experiencing it, then I can ask you, then who is the one who is acknowledging there is nothingness? You see? So no matter how hard you look at it, you cannot win this argument. It means there is someone there to experience the nothingness. Otherwise you cannot accomplish nothingness or darkness. There is someone or something there which is accomplishing the nothingness or darkness. And that something or someone, of course, is you. So you are in the room, there is darkness around. We'll now go a little further. I'm trying to make it as simple as humanly can, as I am in a very profound state of meditation right now. What you do basically, you flip the switch of the light and there is light on the ceiling. And when you flip the switch, you saw the light actually, of course, is on now. And you see in that darkness now there is some light. And you see there are 10 people sitting. You see in that light, you see there are 10 people sitting. Now the next question, I'm going to ask, did those 10 people who are in the light right now, did they just appear? You see what I'm saying? Those 10 people, as soon as you flip the switch, the light is on, the light is falling, and you see there are 10 people sitting over there. So my question to you is, those 10 people, now you can see in the light, did they just appear over there? The answer to that is, those 10 people have been there all along, all this time. But of course there was no light, so you couldn't see those 10 people. They did not just appear. They have been there all along, all this time, but there was no light, so you couldn't see them. Now what you do basically, you crank up the voltage. So as soon as you crank up the voltage, light becomes even brighter. Okay, when light becomes brighter, now your vision sees that there are 50 people sitting over there. I want your focus intact so you can see. I'm bringing clarity at this moment in time, and I want you to be with me. As soon as you cranked up the voltage, now you can see there are 50 people sitting over there. Again, I'm going to ask you the same question. Did those 50 people just appear? No, the answer is those 50 people, they have been sitting here all along, all this time, but you didn't see because light was not enough. But as soon as you cranked up the voltage, now you can see 50 people, you see. Now we'll go a little further. I'm sure you are following me. I'm sure of it because I'm making it very simple and easy for you to understand. Then you crank up the voltage even more. When you crank up the voltage even more, the light becomes even more brighter and you see there are 1,000 people sitting in the room. You see that, what I'm saying? Those 1,000 people did not just appear. They have been there all along. It's just that light was not enough. Now light is fallen. And those 50 people over there, that's your answer of your inquiry. Even if you are struggling to understand what I'm saying, I would tell you that what I'm saying basically that awareness, self-awareness or consciousness is not something that you do. Self-awareness or consciousness is not something that you do. Consciousness or self-awareness is what you are. It does not require any effort at all to be. Consciousness and awareness is what you are. Whatever the level of your awareness becomes your life. That's why you are beyond life or life energy. Are you understanding now what I'm saying? Whatever the level of awareness you have, that is your life. Whatever the level of awareness you have is your life. But awareness has no boundaries. Awareness or consciousness has no boundaries. Consciousness is self-awareness, which does not require any extraordinary effort. It's just there is. As Krishnamurti says, sir, you are choiceless consciousness and you have no choice but to evolve. You understand now? Everything is interconnected, what I'm saying to you. Consciousness has no boundaries, but whatever the level of self-awareness or self-consciousness you have becomes your life. You see, so it's life is the manifestation of awareness. Life itself is the manifestation of awareness, which in forms of energy gives birth to different forms and shape, which we understand as nama rupa in Sanskrit. Anyway, I'll not go into that not right away. So life or life energy is the manifestation of the awareness. But awareness itself has no boundaries. Now go back to the example I gave you. You entered into the room, there was darkness. Now go back to the beginning. You entered into the room, there was darkness. Darkness or nothingness does not mean there is no one there to experience that. Of course, you accomplish there is darkness or there is nothingness because there is someone who is acknowledging the darkness or nothingness. Otherwise, you cannot acknowledge the darkness or nothingness. That something or someone is awareness. And of course, there is nothingness and there is darkness. So it means that there is no identifiable object and there is the absence of the experience. The absence of the experience at this moment in time you can understand as life. But it does not mean the awareness is not there. Of course, the awareness, the self-awareness and consciousness is there. And that is the one who's acknowledging that there is darkness or nothingness. Otherwise, we cannot legitimately say that there is nothingness or darkness. There has to be something or someone. You see, I break it down so simple for you to understand. Now you understand that you are beyond life or life energy. Whatever the level you are aware of yourself becomes your life. You understand? Whatever the level you are aware of yourself becomes your life. That's why You are beyond and above the life or life energy. You are life energy, or life is a manifestation of what you essentially are, which is consciousness, or the self, or the sense, excuse me, or the sense of self-awareness. You see? So that's important. Now, I have answered that you asked me the question. I have elaborated through extremely simple words. However, I always encourage you to ask me questions. No question is a silly question. Do not think. For me, I do not bring my attention or focus voluntarily to one person or two people. You understand what I'm saying? Nature does not work like that, and I go in accord with the nature. That's why I feel so light. So I would not judge you. In order to judge somebody, you have to focus on that particular person. I don't have that. I am totally inclusive, equally, with everything and everybody. And that's how nature works. Once you go in accord with the nature, you feel that you are not even putting any efforts to live, and you are living. That's how I feel all the time, or for the most part of my day. I feel like I'm not even putting any efforts, and I'm living. Everything is manifesting in the way I want it, and it's effortless for me. But it takes time, as I keep saying, it takes time. It requires dedication. It requires a certain level of commitment to yourself to see these type of results. It does not just happen in as soon as you snap your finger or anything like that. Now we'll go a little further. Anyway, so consciousness or awareness is what you essentially are. However, if you think through a thinking mind, one can ask that, because unfortunately people sometimes they feel very discontented with themselves. So they ask questions like, why am I even? Or I wish I didn't exist. I have seen these type of things people say, or sometimes post even on internet, or things like that. These type of questions, of course, are being raised or have risen in their awareness or in their mind because they feel discontented. But there is no need. There is always hope. If you feel that much discontented with yourself, it's time to retrieve yourself where you are looking at, and just focus inward and see the miraculous results that how it would change. However, as I mentioned not like ago, Jiddu Krishnamurti, the brilliant philosopher and the mystic, he mentioned, sir, you are nothing but choiceless consciousness, and you have no option but to evolve. So that is the answer. It's no one's choice whether they should be or they shouldn't be. It's no one's choice. It's just the way it is. That's why I'm trying to tell you. That's why I'm saying it's just the way it is. Okay? It's just the way it is. We always are. It's just the way it is. And we don't have a choice whether we should be or we shouldn't be. We just are, and we don't have an option but to evolve. So we are evolving all the time. You see, we are learning and we are evolving. Basically, learning and evolving, I would elaborate on that too. What does it mean to learn? Learning means that you are in a process of acquiring, or you have acquired total acceptance towards everything. That's what learning is. You see, you have heard people, sometimes they mentioned about their near-death experiences, and they travel to the other side, and they witnessed a light, and the light was telling them that life is all about the learning, a series of learning lessons. Life is a series of learning the lessons. So these are the lessons. The lessons is The lessons are that we are in the process either to acquire or we have acquired to accept everything and everybody without any friction in our awareness, without judging or making ourselves uncomfortable or having frictions about something or somebody. You see, accept the way, accept everything and everyone. That's why in spiritual circles it is said that you are nothing but love. You see, you are nothing but love. Love, the acceptance of everything and everyone in existence, is the series of learning lessons. In other words, sharing the karma. The more karma we are sharing, the more we are becoming self-aware. You see, the more karma or the attachments or the resistance or the frictions in our awareness we are sharing, the more we are becoming aware of our own self. That's all it is. It's very simple, by the way. But unfortunately and sadly, most of us want a very difficult answer, something really complicated. But it's not complicated, and it's very simple if you look at it. What you essentially are is just trying to know yourself in different form and shapes. What you essentially are, you are trying to know yourself through different form and shapes. That's all that's happening. However, it can be very difficult if you don't have the self-awareness. As I keep mentioning in all my videos, that it can be very difficult. The process of learning and accepting can be very difficult if you are not self-aware. It can only be achieved and acquired when you bring clarity and self-awareness. And I keep saying in my videos that can only happen when we learn not to judge or try to minimize the possibility or get rid of the negative traits. Or become more compassionate. You cannot force these things on yourself. You see, that's the key point I'm telling you. You cannot force these things on yourself, or nobody can say, hey, stop judging or stop gossiping. Nobody can do or tell you that, or nor you can force these things. The more you know yourself, it's a full education, it's a transformation. The more you know yourself, the less you do all these things, and there would be a day in your life that you would not do this at all. That is the day when you would feel so lighter that you would feel that I'm not even putting any efforts towards the life I'm living, and everything is just keep manifesting. That's how I literally feel. I don't feel any efforts because I have uncluttered myself from the drama. There is because these things are very impractical for one. They are not changing the life you are living. You see, the only thing which can change the life you are living is you. You can change the life you are living by realizing what you essentially are, but not be fascinated by this three-dimensional reality, because the band, this is a very narrow band. That's why I'm saying the three-dimensional reality band is a very narrow band. Life is not human-centric. Know that. Life goes above and beyond that. So let's live. This is another way to look at this whole thing, which I'm just mentioning. Let's live in the life or in the world of Creator, but not the separate self, which we are in an illusion we are, that we call it Sanskrit, the word is Maya, the illusion we live in. We think ourselves as separate self, that we are separate. But as a matter of fact, having a different name, having a different form, a different family, a gender, color, and all that does not make you separate. If you pay enough attention and you focus yourself, you realize the mind we have is literally a combination and a collection of the entire humanity. Every thought, no thought is a personal thought, or you don't own your thoughts. The whole entire mind of humanity is the same mind, and as long as that is that, you are not separate, basically. But you think in your mind that you are separate, but you are not separate. You see what I'm saying? So these are the things that you keep in mind if you want to bring some clarity and you want to raise your self-awareness. The more you become, the more you raise, the more you become more aware of yourself, the more alert you become, then you make your choices very carefully. The choices, you make your choices very carefully. What I am saying, that you do, you see, if I performed a certain action, if I caused something, would I accumulate more karma? Or if I perform something, or I performed a certain action, would I get rid of the karma? See, you become so alert. Then you do not thoughtlessly jump into the bandwagons that you just want to fit into the society, so whoever is not around, let's gossip about that thoughtlessly. Then you do not make these unhealthy or negative choices for yourself. Then you become very, and you hold yourself 100% and full accountable for your actions, and you learn from those actions, and then you make your choices very carefully. So the more you let go of this negativity, which brings a friction and keeps you restless, the more self-aware you become. For me, it took years and years, but thank God I transcended myself from all this. And as I said, if I can do it, so can you, because real me and real you exactly is the same. So there is always hope. However, I hope you found your answer, what you inquired about. I stated very simple, and I elaborated in a very simple manner and with easy words. However, I would always encourage you to ask questions, and I would do my level best to bring clarity as much as I humanly can. Let's meditate now for some time. Did you hear that?